Beautiful morning here in Scottsdale, Arizona, getting ready to head out on the trail with the Nissan series of vehicles, which now includes the Armada. I have to say that Nissan, they just deserve a ton of credit for continuing to make really authentic four-wheel drives, great value proposition, and they're adding a lot of the content that's made the brand successful on the global scale too. So by seeing the Armada now in patrol spec, which is not to say that this is the same as a GU patrol of 15 years ago with solid front and rear axles. It's not, but it's certainly the best version of an Armada we've ever seen. And it's on par, if not even slightly better than the performance spec of patrols, the GQ patrols that we're seeing everywhere else in the world. So the fact that Pro4x is now across the heavy-duty four-wheel drive lineup for Nissan, I see that as just a huge win for overland travelers. And to have an affordably priced vehicle that is comparative shopped against Land Cruiser internationally, it's a win for the consumer to have 1,400 plus pounds of payload, 7 passengers, and look at that flat load floor in the back. A little bit head high, but easily could sleep 2 in the back of this thing. Healthy towing capacity, a nice turbocharged V6 engine. It's just a great overall vehicle, and it's a joy to drive on the trail right now. I'm really having fun with it in the desert. All right, so I'm driving the Nissan Pro4X now. Just a great compact pickup. It's the last, what I would call compact pickup on the market that's body on frame. You certainly have things like the Ford Maverick and others, but this is the most compact of what is in this segment is called a mid-size. Traditional body on frame, independent front suspension, solid axle rear, normally aspirated V6, great transmission, driver selectable rear locking differential, 32-inch diameter Hankook all-terrain tires on 17-inch wheels. So you really end up with like a classic configuration for long distance travel. And the fact that it comes in at a reasonable price, you can find one of these for less than 40 grand with all that kind of content. And it's got a lot of tech, a lot of updates, phone charging, inductive charging, big screen now for 2025. So just a great overall vehicle. And I have very few complaints about it. I mean, most of my concerns are actually quite minimal. It does struggle a little bit with ground clearance compared to the competition. It does have a really odd rear locker switch position. It's very far down by the left leg on the dash. So if the seatbelt's locked, or if you're a smaller person trying to get that rear locking differential to engage, especially when you're needing to do it in a hurry or that seatbelt is locked, it's just not a great position for it. They need to move it up on the dash. Limited articulation overall, which is another thing that's a challenge, but the rear locking differential of course helps a lot with that. Ride is a little bit busy compared to a lot of the competition, but again, durability and reliability are paramount, as is great value. Con I would pick out for me is for how light this vehicle is and its overall construction, the payload is just too low. So we're at 1,020 pounds. So given its tow capacity, given its occupant capacity, this truck needs to be in the 1,400 to 1,600 pound payload range in order to be matched well to its use case. So I'd love to see Nissan start to address payload. I think it would help it be so much more competitive in this space, especially against its main competitor, which would be the Tacoma. So if you come in at 14, 15, 1,600 pounds, you just end up with a totally different use case and consumer interest in a vehicle like the Frontier.